What if gravity suddenly flips sideways? One second you're standing normally, the next your entire body slams into the wall. Your arms, legs, even your face get pulled sideways instantly. You try to move, but the force pins you there. Then the room starts moving. A chair rips across the floor and crashes into the wall beside you. A table follows, water bottles, loose objects, everything flying in the same direction. A sofa launches across the room and slams into the wall. You can barely move. A car lifts off the ground and smashes sideways into the wall. Glass shatters. A massive truck slides across the room and crashes into the pile. Now the wall is the floor. You try to stand just as gravity flips again. Everything rips across the room. Cars, furniture, glass, and suddenly you realize gravity isn't pulling down anymore. It's pulling wherever it wants. What if friction just disappeared? You drop a coin. Instead of stopping, it shoots forward and never slows down. You try to take one step. Your foot slides, then the other. You're not walking anymore. You're skating without control. Your phone slips from your hand. It rockets across the floor, bounces off the wall, and keeps going. You push a table to steady yourself. Bad idea. The table launches forward, slams the wall, then keeps scraping sideways. Water spills. Now everything moves faster. You step on it and spin like you're on ice. A chair rolls. You grab it. Now you're both sliding. A car engine starts. The wheels spin, but there's no grip. The car shoots sideways. Brakes don't matter. A truck rolls in. Full brakes. Still sliding. Boxes fall off the back. You try to push off the wall. Your hands slip. You rebound across the room. Now everything is moving. Cars, furniture, glass panels, water, boxes. Nothing slows down. Nothing stops. You jump. You land and just keep sliding because friction was the only thing keeping the world from turning into chaos. What if you had Thor powers in ancient Greece? Ancient Greece believed lightning came from Zeus. Every storm, every thunderbolt, every flash across the sky. But they had never seen the hammer that commands it. And one day, the storm answered someone else. You. Day 1. Dark clouds gather above Athens. Thunder shakes the temples. In your hand rests a strange hammer, heavy, ancient. You raise it toward the sky. Lightning crashes where you point. The ground trembles. People stare in silence. Storms are meant to obey gods, not men. And this was only the beginning. Day 3. You test the power. Clouds spiral above the sea. Thunder rolls across mountains. You swing the hammer. Lightning rips through the sky. The ocean erupts beneath you. Ships scatter across the waves. The sky feels alive, and somehow it listens. Day 5. Rumors spread across Greece. The oracle at Delphi falls silent. The priests of Zeus grow terrified. Some say Zeus chose a champion. Others whisper something worse. What if the storm no longer belongs to Olympus? Day 7. You stand above the Parthenon. Thunder roars across the sky. Lightning coils around your hammer, and one truth becomes clear. Greece once feared the power of gods. Now the storm answers you. So tell me, would you protect the world or rule it like a god? What if you brought McDonald's to ancient Egypt? Day 1. You arrive beside the Nile with a small charcoal grill, salted beef, and bread. Workers move blocks under the burning sun. They only eat stale bread. You grab your meat and roll it into a ball. You press the patty onto the iron. The sizzle cuts through desert wind. The smell drifts across hot sand. Workers stop working and admire your stand. Day 2. You set up near the pyramid site. People wait in the shade for your meat. They start calling it meat of the gods. 30 laborers line up before sunrise. Grease on their fingers, but they don't care. By nightfall, you fed every single worker. Day 3. Things go downhill. A governor comes up to your stand and asks who gave you permission to sell. He tells you to close up shop and leave. You say nothing and hand him a burger. One bite and he folds. As long as you give the governors free burgers, no one will disturb you. Week 1. Socrates is touring in Egypt. He comes up and asks you, if the burger is your power, what are... You cut him off. You've had enough of this bum. You tie him up and send him back to Greece. There's no way he comes back, right? Month 6. The crowds exceed limits. It's getting hard to meet demands. You send a proposal to the pharaoh. He takes one bite of your burger and accepts. He builds you a McDonald's near the pyramids and gives you workers. Your job now to feed workers. Year 1. Your meat controls Egypt. No food supply enters or leaves the country without your approval. You didn't just make a business, you filled hungry stomachs. What if you sold crumble cookies in ancient Rome? Day 1. You arrive in Rome with a small stone oven, flour, eggs, and copious amounts of sugar. They only eat salty and bland food. You mix the batter in a bowl, butter, flour, and sugar. You roll the dough into thick rounds and place them on the hot stone. They rise. The smell spreads through the street. People gather and stare at you. Day 2. You set up near the Colosseum. People line up outside your stall. They call them discs of the gods. One merchant takes a bite. The inside melts. By sunset, people don't stop. They keep demanding more. Day 3. Disaster strikes. The demand explodes. Romans line up before you open. They don't buy just one, they buy entire trays. You start to run out of ingredients. The Romans demand more, so you get help from a farmer. Fresh ingredients every morning. Week 1. An odd individual approaches your stall. He asks you, if the sugar is your power, what are you without it? You realize it's Socrates in disguise. You ask him how the fuck he found you again. Before he replies, you beat the shit out of him and send him back to Greece. Now he's gone for good, right? Month 6. People start to go crazy. They chase the sugar rush. You can't meet the demand and people get aggressive. You ask the emperor for help. The emperor tastes one cookie and feels the rush. Immediately he orders a bakery to be built in the heart of Rome. You now have ovens, workers, and unlimited flour. Your job is simple: satisfy the cravings of Rome. Year 1. The high amounts of sugar starts to affect the gladiators' performances. The emperor blames you and your cookies. He orders your execution. You became rich, but at the cost of your life. What if you brought PS5 to the Middle Ages? Day 1. You arrive in a medieval castle carrying a PS5. The king thinks it's a weapon. You say it's for entertainment. He's confused. Everything is entertainment. Jousting, feasts, the plague. You set it up in the Great Hall. Day 2. You find a monk who paints manuscripts. He can draw. You explain pixels. He doesn't understand. You settle for him painting each frame by hand. Day 3. First game. Knights watch you play Call of Duty. One asks if you're training for battle. You say no. He's disappointed. You hand him the controller. He doesn't know buttons. He shakes it. Nothing happens. He throws it at the wall. Your controller is now in 2 pieces. Great! Day 4. You need electricity. You explain power. They have candles. They try to plug the PS5 into a candle holder. Nothing. They think you're bad at magic. A young squire figures out the second controller. He's good. Really good. He beats you at FIFA. Day 5. Word spreads. Lords come from other kingdoms. They want to play. You start tournaments. Winner gets a chicken. Esports begin in 1200 AD. Day 6. The PS5 overheats. No ventilation. You put it in the dungeon. It's cold, but also damp. The controller grows mold. 1. You're losing everything. Day 7. The PS5 dies. Final death, no respawn. The king mourns. He builds a tomb for it in the chapel. Monks pray to it. You've created a religion around a console. What if you had spider powers in medieval Europe? Medieval Europe feared monsters in the forest. They never imagined one climbing their castles. Day 1. You discover something strange. Stone walls no longer stop you. Your hands stick to castle towers like they were made for it. Within minutes, you're standing on the highest tower in the city, looking down, smiling. For the first time in your life, gravity feels optional. Day 2. Thieves run across the rooftops at night. You chase them effortlessly, leaping from chimney to chimney, swinging between narrow streets. No horse, no armor, just speed. People begin whispering about a shadow moving across the city walls. Day 3. You test your strength. A falling cart nearly crushes a merchant. Your reflexes move before your thoughts. One web. The cart freezes midair. The crowd stares in silence. Some call it a miracle, others call it witchcraft. Day 4. Rumors spread across the kingdom. Knights patrol the streets looking for the wall-climbing phantom, but every tower they guard, you're already above, watching, learning, adapting. Day 5. Arrows finally fly toward you. Your body reacts instantly. Time seems slower. You dodge every shot. That's when you realize something else has awakened, your spider sense. Day 6. Now the city feels different. Every danger whispers before it happens. Every movement around you becomes predictable. You're no longer reacting, you're anticipating. Day 7. Standing above the tallest castle tower, looking down at the torches of a restless kingdom, one truth becomes clear. Medieval Europe built walls to keep threats out, but no one ever prepared for something climbing in. So tell me, in a world ruled by kings and knights, who would stop the one person who can reach anywhere?
Would you get rich selling tacos in the ancient Aztec Empire? Day 1. You arrive carrying beef, spices, and a small iron pan. You walk through the village. They only eat maize and beans. You roll up corn balls and press the corn dough flat onto the iron pan. You then slap your meat onto the pan. The sizzling and smell cuts through the air. People gather around your stand. No one has ever smelled anything like it. Day 2. Word spreads through the city. Lines form before sunrise. People call them sunbreads. Warriors take bites. Oil and crumbs spill everywhere, but they don't care. By sunset, you've made a week's wage. Day 3. Meals start to backfire. Warriors start to miss training to use the bathroom, but the lines only get longer. People crowd your stall. The demand gets overwhelming. You struggle to keep up. Week 1. An odd customer skips the line before you can say anything. He asks you, if your meat is your power, what are you without it? You look closer and discover it's fucking Socrates disguised as a tribe member. How does he keep doing this? You're too busy for this bum. You will deal with him later. Month 6. Your food spreads across the empire. Tacos become a culture. The tribe leader is looking for a virgin sacrifice to please the sun gods. You point to Socrates and hand him over. He starts asking them his weird questions, but they ignore him and take him away. You finally got rid of him. Year 1. The empire runs on your recipe. No food enter or leaves the city with your approval. You didn't just fill empty stomachs, you brought them culture. What if you sold matcha in ancient Rome? Day 1. You arrive in Rome carrying a small pouch of green powder, a bowl, and a wooden whisk. The city smells like piss and wine. These guys only drink wine. You pour green powder and hot water into a bowl and you start whisking it. You pour the mixture into fresh milk and ice. People stare. A bright green drink appears. Day 2. You set up next to the Colosseum. People start to line up. They call it Drink of the Earth. A soldier takes a sip. He instantly becomes calm and takes home another 4 cups. By sunset, everyone in the city is holding green. Day 3. Everyone in the city has tasted your fluids. The demand keeps growing. People start to debate with each other while holding matcha. The city is drinking more matcha than ever. By midday, your milk barrels are empty. You have nothing left to mix, so you visit nearby farms and strike deals with Roman farmers. Every morning, carts of fresh milk arrive at your stall. Week 1. You're just minding your business and working, and you see fucking Socrates touring Rome. He approaches, but he doesn't want trouble. He just wants a drink. You charge him 5 times the price. He pays it like a good boy and leaves to go debate with his geek friends. Month 1. Matcha spreads across the empire. You get summoned by the emperor. He calls your drink a gift from the gods. He gives you workers and resources. Your job is simple: satisfy Rome. Senators drink it during debates. Matcha becomes a Roman obsession. Year 1. Rome no longer runs on wine. Rome runs on your fluids. No tea enters the city without your approval. You didn't just sell a drink. You changed Roman culture.